Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here, and today we are officially well into our bacteria lab simulation. You have done a lot up to this point to understand what we're doing in the lab. You have made some predictions. You have run the lab and collected your data, and now we're looking at how we're going to record our data in our team data sheet. This is going to help us not only compare our data to other teams' data to see if there's any patterns or trends happening, but this will also allow us as scientists to identify were there any errors in our lab or whether or not what we're seeing in our lab is something that we can begin making sense of and use to explain the natural selection process and whether or not hand sanitizer is effective at helping us keep ourselves healthy and killing bacteria. So let's go ahead and get into how you're going to be recording your lab data into our team data sheet. As of right now, you have clicked on and you're watching our guide video on how to record our data. Next, you're going to click on this link and it's going to take you to our team bacteria population data table. When you click in, it'll take you to the home page. You'll notice the home page because here at the very bottom, okay, you'll see all of our tabs for period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is the home page. We're going to talk about the home page here shortly, but you're going to start by finding your class period. So let's say you're in class period 6. From there, you're going to find your table number. So we have tables 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8. And you'll notice that on the left side, we have a few important columns. We have all the different rounds we did within the lab. The prep round, we had the reproduction round 1, the dose round 1, 2s, and 3s. And then next to that, we have our different bacteria, our marshmallow and skittle bacteria, okay? Now, your job is going to be not only to find your table, but to record your population data for your marshmallow and skittles. So for example, in the prep, if you had 10 marshmallows and 5 skittles, you would look at your data table and you'd use those numbers here in the prep columns for, again, marshmallows and skittles. You then look at your reproduction round 1, and then you again would put in your numbers. So let's say they didn't change, 10 and 5. And then you would continue on for each of the different rounds, recording your data based exactly on what you got from the lab itself. Okay, so I'm going to make up some numbers here. These numbers obviously don't really matter, but I want to show you how the actual data table works. Now, once you'll record, you'll be able to compare your data to others, and you'll see a lot of information begin to kind of populate. At the bottom, you'll see our final class bacteria totals and our averages. So you'll see what our class started with. So how many marshmallows did we start with at the beginning of the lab? How many did we end with? And what was the change? What did it change by? Did it increase? Did it decrease? And so on. Same with the Skittles. You'll see what that average starting was for both marshmallows and Skittles, what the average ending was. So how many did we have at the end, average at the end of our third dose? And then what was that change? And then finally over here, you'll see a breakdown of the total bacteria per round. So how many marshmallows did we have and Skittles did we have at round the reproduction round 1? What was the total change, the average change per round for all the bacteria, and what was the average change overall? So you can not only see what the overall start and end was and what the overall change was, but you can also see what the overall totals were for each round over here. The teacher data, don't worry about that. That's just something I use to make sure that I'm purchasing the right amount of materials for our lab. And then finally, you'll have our home page here. Our home page here allows us to compare our class data. So again, over here, you'll see period 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. You'll see what the starting populations were for marshmallows and Skittles. You'll see what the ending population for the whole class was and what the overall change was. And then you'll see our overall team data here at the bottom. Okay, and again, you can kind of see the overall team summaries here. So you'll have a lot of data to use as you then look to explain what's going on with our bacteria lab and whether or not we can say that the hand sanitizer truly helps with keeping us healthy and killing bacteria. So that's how you navigate the classes and all the different tabs at the bottom. That's how you record your individual table data based on what happened for all the different rounds. And that's how we look to understand all of the data that will populate not only in your class data, but on the home page. So if you have questions on how to record your data, or if you have questions on how to read the data table, reach out. Otherwise, good luck.